Hi, my name is Nokwanda Ndlovu. I'm currently doing my third year in marine biology at the University of KwaZulu-Natal. I'm from the city of Durban in KwaZulu-Natal, where I'm residing, of which I'll be presenting to you about concerning its environmental factors, both of the biotic and the abiotic factors, which have led to the appearance of our city, Durban, the way it is right now. Durban is considered as one of the warmest cities in South Africa due to the weather that it has, and it has a very high diversity containing both the marine and terrestrial species. In the city of Durban, there has been a gradual increase in population sizes due to people being attracted to the way it is, and there is a high demand for various ecosystem services and goods, which has led to over-exploitation of some services for human benefits, but which actually has caused the city of Durban to have a degraded habitat in some ecosystems, mainly at the marine ecosystem. And there are also some many other anthropogenic factors that have led to the city of Durban having the weather that it has right now. The main anthropogenic factors include introduction of alien species and the burning of fossil fuels and deforestation, in which many trees are being cut down due to increasing industrialization and urbanization. So, as there is a high demand for jobs, and many industries are starting to look for places where they can build their companies to increase the economic benefits of the city. So, there's been a high demand for wood, for making paper, or and making many other materials such as building materials. So, many of the trees have been cut down. So as more trees were cut down, it has been noticed that the CO2 level in the atmosphere is increasing. This is because as many of the trees have been cut down, less CO2 is being taken up by trees as they use this CO2 to make up their own food through photosynthesis. In that way, as less trees are available there, so the, the, the CO2 level starts to accumulate and increase in the atmosphere. So we know that the ocean and the atmosphere interact with each other when it comes to gas gas circulation or gas exchange. We know that they work interdependently. So as the level of CO2 in the atmosphere has increased gradually, so thus the CO2 level of the water is also increased. This has had a very huge impact on the marine environment because it has led to vertical stratification. We know that if there is vertical stratification, there is less penetration of light. In that way, um, there is less missing of water, so there will be less primary productivity in the ocean, especially in the deeper layers, which are very much dependent on food as there is less light entering in those areas. So there have been a gradual increase, there have been a gradual decrease in upwelling and mixing of water. So there is less transport of nutrients in the ecosystem, which affects many food chains, even us people. So if the species occurring in our city of Durban oceans are not having access to enough food, they're gonna die. We experience high fish kills in that way. We as people depending on fish, we aren't going to get that food. So that also like affects us as humans, our health, as we depend on fish for proteins and many other nutrients which are essential for our metabolic reactions and our health. So it's also like declines, and also also the economic status of the country is also affected because most of the fish species that die in the water are of great commercial importance. So they've also started to decline, and this they decline also due to the increase of water temperature. Water starts to warms up, which is also which is also emphasized by the occurrence of the Benguela current, which characterizes our ocean, which is the Indian Ocean of Durban, which has also contributed to like having a warming of water in our Durban city ocean environment. And also Some of the other factors that also caused a decline in fish species also includes as people like over exploitation of fish, which is overfishing, which has also led to decline in fish species that we've been experiencing lately. And also, as the temperature of the ocean also increases, it's also sometimes like lead to high accumulation of harmful algae blooms on the surface of water, because phytoplankton or seaweeds get to produce more because there's more temperature. So they tend to accumulate and stay on the surface of the water. As they stay on the surface of the water, they restrict the entrance of light into the deeper water, which also depend on food for or depend on lights for making their own food. So eutrophication restricts the entrance of lights and thus leads to decreased level of oxygen, which leads to hypoxia, leading to further decline in in fisheries of the ocean. That has had also a huge impact on the ocean. Also, another effect that our city has also been experiencing is ocean acidification, which occurs as a result of increasing CO2 in the atmosphere, which reacts with water and form carbonic acid, which is very, very, very effective to many species living in the deeper areas that depend on calcium carbonate, which tend to decline as ocean acidification occurs, such as coral reefs and mollusks. As a result of coral bleaching, many corals have of coral of ocean acidification. Many corals have been becoming bleaching because they tend to lose their color. They tend to lose the algae that they depend on for food, which affects many species depending on them as their nursery sites, which cause further decline in species diversity. So if we experience less species diversity, the stability, resilience, and ecosystem functioning also tend to decline, which could lead to destruction of the functioning of the entire ecosystem, because there will be processes such as top-down or bottom-up wasp-weight processes which will affect many species and cause the ecosystem to not function at all, which will affect our water quality. And and it will be very much difficult for us people to observe that our water is of less quality, because many of the species we as humans have destroyed them due to those anthropogenic effects, because many species that are bioindicators such as microbenthos are dying because of such as due to increasing wave action. We know that as temperature increases, the sea level rise. So as the sea level rise, it causes the wave action to increase and lead to increase wash away of species like erosion. Most species tend to be washed away, which tends to expose them to predators and environmental conditions then they can't tolerate, because they're not used to those conditions and they tend to die. So we won't be able to see if the conditions have changed, because they tend to indicate, since they are not there, we are not going to be able to see all of that. So we have experienced a high increase in ocean acidification, and also as wind also increase, there is a high increase as wind increase due to changing environmental conditions as a result of global or climate change. More of the dust which contains red clays, which are known to contain high levels of iron, are going to wash away to the ocean. So we know that iron is the main factor which leads to eutrophication, because it leads to high increase of primary productivity, which will further increase primary productivity and decrease entrance of light, leading to more anaerobic or hypoxic environmental conditions. And also it leads to formation of clouds. If it leads to formation of clouds, which will restrict light entrance, leading to light attenuation. And the other factors that have also been experienced in the terrestrial environment also is that as the temperature levels increase, the more water is being absorbed, more water gets to be absorbed, and the soil gets to be eroded, and it cannot support any life form. So plant diversity decreases and we can't get more food from those plants. And its diversification, so food security is being affected, which could lead to further increase in other social economic issues such as gambling, HIV and AIDS, as people won't be having enough food, so they will tend to involve themselves in sexual activities because they have no jobs. So that's how difficult this thing could be. And also, as a result of increasing population sizes, there is a great demand for food. So many companies have tried by all means to increase food amounts, but to support the growing population or to maintain great food security. So many countries and companies have contributed to increasing food availability through the Haberbosch process, whereby large amounts of fertilizers are being produced, and we know that fertilizers contain high content of nitrogen and phosphorus. So as more nitrogen and phosphorus is being produced and used in agricultural activities, most of those and nitrogen and phosphorus elements run off into water, leading to further eutrophication and harmful algal bloom formation on the ocean surface. We know that it's very much related with fish kills. But in Durban, we not only about experiencing the bad things. Durban is a very nice city that everybody loves a lot due to high diversity that is maintained. And many companies have tried by all means to come out with ways of resolving the issues that are affecting our city through sustainability or sustainable living. And we also host many MPAs, which are marine protected areas and botanical gardens. And these marine protected areas tend to protect all those species that are endangered, and they try by all means to bring them into their initial population sizes, even though it's going to take some time, but they're trying by all means to protect those species that are listed as threatened, endangered, or risk species according to the IUCN. And we also have museums such as Ushala Marine World, which hosts very beautiful and endemic species that are of great essential, and that has contributed to increasing the ecotourism of the city. You know, many people are attracted into our city because of the high diversity that we contain in both the marine and terrestrial, but especially the endemic species that are not found in other countries. So we attract many tourists that tend to come and invest in our companies that exist in the city of Durban, and that is of great advantage. And we also have research surveys that are being held around Durban that are also like trying by all means to support and protect all the endangered species, you know, through research, like all the surveys that are even able to go into deeper areas that nobody had access to, you know, like those areas in the Bentic regions where nobody tends to have much attention to. They have tried by all means to come and support and protect the species that are unknown. You know, no more knowledge is being obtained from the city of Durban through that. And we also have many organizations that involve themselves or they have taken an initiative into cleaning up beaches. So in that way, pollution is being reduced. We try and pollution is being reduced and recycling is being emphasized by all means, which is a very nice thing because everybody is told to practice this. So as sustainable living is taken as a very important factor in the city of Durban. It's very, very much important, such that our city has been recognized as one of the city consisting of beaches that are very clean and they are less polluted, of which we now host many blue flags, which is of great advantage for our country, which further attracts many tourists and increasing the economic status of the city and also of the country, because many people are also like getting jobs in many ways from those beach cleanups and other things, even though most of the beach cleanups are voluntary, but it's of great benefits for our species that we love, and our environment that we love a lot, that we want to sustain, that we want to protect by all means. So it's of great advantage. And there are also companies in the city of Durban that have obtained carbon tax, and it's of very great advantage. And it's really good because these companies have tried by all means to reduce their carbon footprints. They've been recognized as one of the best working countries, working in a very much sustainable manner, and it's very, very, very much exciting. And we have in our city, Durban, we host different cultures, languages, and cultural dances, cultural ceremonies, attires, food that we eat. It's really attracts many people, such as the main cultural activity that is actually happening today on the earth is Umkhosi Womhlanga, whereby virgins go there to respect and to honor the King of Kings of the Zulu, King Zwelithini, which attracts many tourists also. It's a very, very nice. Our dance moves, people come there to watch our dance moves, to watch our to watch their or dance moves, and also like the attires, and those poetry languages that are spoken there. And it's very much exciting and encouraging that young people should behave in a very much good manner, and it encourages young people to stay away from negative things, such as which will help them not to be easily infected to HIV and having high teenage pregnancy that everybody is trying by all means to reduce. And yeah, it's very much exciting and we are very much thankful that such a ceremony recognized that. And we know that HIV is also concerned with sustainability and sustainable living and the environment. It's connected. We also have an area called Isibaya where the people who teach tourists about the Zulu culture, because Durban is mainly it's super concentrated with it's super populated with Zulu people. There are many Zulu people in Durban. Most of the people are Zulu people, even though there are other like race, or there are other races, but many people are Zulus. So there are areas that teach people from other countries about the Zulu region, how it's initiated, the struggles that the Zulu people have been going through, and how they've made peace, and how they've improved. It's very much exciting that that there are people who are interested in that, and there are many improvements that have been made to make our city a better place, because Zulu people are very forgiving people, and they fight and they fight for good things, not for bad things. They believe that people should work together, and we are working together to make our country a better place through sustainable living, through peace, through peace and forgiveness. We work together with many people. It's very much lovely to see people working together to save the environment, and in many ways, in different fields, both in social fields, economic, biological, mathematical. It's very much exciting. When Durban is also considered as one of the best award hosting area. There are many awards that are hosted in Durban because of the area that it is, because of the way that it is. Many people are attracted to Durban due to its appearance and the places or buildings that it has around the ocean, and other terrestrial environment that are beautiful, and that have beautiful flowers, botanical gardens, that many people tend to be attracted to host their awards and even weddings. People from other countries come in Durban to host their weddings, and it's very, very much exciting. Oh yes, we also have ARD and Max's Lifestyle. Those places, nobody can tell you about those places. Everybody knows those places. Even people from Cape Town, Joburg, whenever they saying they coming in Durban, they say they are not leaving Durban without having gone to ARD. That's a very nice place. It's a partying place. It plays nice music from different areas and mainly from Durban. Like people have now got used to Durban music and they've named it trap, and people are happy that there's such music now, and and everything is fine. Durban is really getting into high levels, and everybody is happy about that, and everybody is enjoying themselves in Durban. And I'm still calling people from different areas to come and enjoy themselves in ART. You shouldn't live out of Durban without having gone to ART. That's a nice place to go. And we also, how could I forget? We also host the Durban July. Everybody knows about Durban July. Nobody can tell you about Durban July. People around the entire world come from different countries. Like the world come in Durban for Durban July, whereby we have horse races, and like horse races, people like come wearing beautiful dresses there to look good and everything. It's very nice, people uniting and enjoying themselves in Durban. It's really nice. It really improves the ecotourism of the city, because many people, the ecotourism of the city, because we get very high profits during those days, and people get employment during those days. And we also have the Durban Fashion Fair, whereby South African fashion designers express themselves in a more like fashion world way. And I was very much excited the other year, whereby the theme was sustainable living. I think it was sustainable living, and people were they recycled things, then they made beautiful clothes out of them. It was very much exciting, and to see that not only us as scientists is concerned about conservation. It's everybody from every field can express themselves and try to tell other people that this is how we should live now. The world is changing, our city is changing, and we should try by all means to bring it back to the way that it was before, by sustainable living, because that's the main way that we can do, or we can make our city a much better place as it was before. And it's very much exciting. Not only that the Durban Fashion Fair is about fashion, it's also like promotes other young girls who are models to be called for other international agencies. It's very much exciting. I've seen so many people benefiting from those concerts. So I'm very much excited, and I believe that we, as the city of Durban, are still gonna make better things. And I believe that through sustainable living, our city is going to improve, which will like make other cities to look up from us and try to make them see that it is very much important that we come together, work together to reduce the impact that has been caused by climate change, which has led to very high levels of perturbation that have affected many species, and we are very much unhappy about the species losses that we've experienced. And I wish that people realize how bad it is that we lose so many species through our anthropogenic impacts. If we are the ones who cause the change and the extinction of species, it means it's us again that can make an improvement and bring and increase the level of species that are being endangered into the way that they were before. And I'm very much thankful. Thank you very much. Peace.